Hi, my name is Nick Ollinger, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of the middle blocker. And the middle blocker is also called the middle hitter. It really just depends on the coach, I guess. So the middle, they only play in the front row. They play the opposite of the libero. So they play all the way around in the front row, and you have two middles on every team at least, because you have one to go front row for the first 3 rotations, and then another one to go front row for the next 3. And so the middle blocker, they stay in the middle, as their name says, and basically they help block everything. Their main job is to block and hit and draw off blockers. So I'll explain what that means. So let's say the other team has the ball and it's a good pass, and they have a middle hitting and they have an outside hitting, and then they have an opposite hitting. The middle's job, or these hitters, the pin's jobs, which is the outside and the oppo, would be to block their person, and the outside can block middle if they have to. And so basically they only have one job, and they only have one job for the most part. Whereas the middle, they have to guard all 3 people, and this can be really hard to do, especially if the other team has a good pass. So middle is a really tough job and one of the most tiring jobs in volleyball, because you have to be all over the court at once. And so the middle has to block everything, and they also have to if you don't block as a middle, you have to get off and cover. So let's say the setter sets it to their outside, so it goes over here, but you can't get there in time. So what you have to do is you have to pull off over here and be ready for a tip or a tool off the block. So if it hits off the block, then you have to be ready to dig it and do whatever you can to get the ball up. But hopefully, as a middle, you should be able to get a block on the hit every time. So yeah, that's what they do defensively. It's pretty straightforward. They just block everything. However, middles on offense, their job is a lot different. So what they try and do is they still stay in the middle of the court, and primarily when it's a good pass is when the middle shine the most. So the setter will be up setting, and the middle will be out hitting, and these guys will be out hitting. They'll be ready to hit. And so you'll see them all there, and we'll all be coming in to hit. And the middle has quick sets because they're so close to the setter. So one of the main jobs as a middle is to draw off the other team's middle blocker, so the outsides and the opposites can hit with only one blocker on them, which makes their job a lot easier. They can hit wherever they want almost, just not into the one person. So that means the middle has to be really loud. So it shows good teamwork, because if the middle is really loud, even if they don't get the ball, they don't get all the glory, yet they still help their team win. And without the middle drawing off the other middle, it makes the pin hitters who do get all the glory a lot harder. It makes it a lot harder for them. So if the middle hits a 1 or a 3 or a slide, or even sometimes a 2, but usually the middle's go-to set is a 1, and this is the really quick set, and it happens right next to the setter. So they come in and they come right by the setter, and they have to make sure they stay off the net, and then the setter just shoots the ball straight to them. Then they can choose to hit it wherever they need to hit it, where there's no block. And so that's the 1. And then they also hit a 3. So 3 is quick just like a 1, except for they'll stay farther off. They stay 6 feet away from the setter when they hit. So they'll go in straight, and this will be 6 feet. And the setter just shoots it to them, and they have to swing really quick and get on top of the ball and hopefully get a kill there. And then a slide. Middles only run a slide when there's no opposite hitter, because you'll see in a second. So the setter will be front row, and the middle will be here, and they'll fake like they're going to hit a 1 or a 3, and they'll run in here, and then they'll turn here, and they'll hit off of 1 foot and hit a set that the setter would set towards an oppo. And instead it would go to the middle, and it would confuse teams because they expect there to be no hitter on the right side because the setter is front row, and that gets hitters a lot. But primarily the middle's job is to just be really loud and draw off blockers, and then do what they can on offense on good passes. But you can also, as a middle, you can do stuff when it's not a good pass. So when the setter's off the net, it's really important. Like, let's say the setter gets a set at the 10-foot line. It makes it significantly harder to set the middle. However, you have to make sure that you stay. So let's just say there's a 45-degree angle between the setter and the net. So that's 45 degrees. If you're a middle and you're trying to get set from the 10-foot line, you have to make sure you stand behind this line so he can shoot it to you still. Because let's say you're middle and you're over here, it's gonna be like impossible for the setter to give you the ball and be able to like have you swing on a set like that. So yeah, that's basically the middle's job as a middle hitter. So a question?
There was a term you used about digging. Could you explain that, please?
So digging is when the other team sets the ball and they'll hit it, and then if they hit it, then when you like pass the ball up, it's called a dig.
And then you talked about 45-degree angles.
Yeah.
Why is it harder if it's less than 45 degrees?
Because if you're inside this line and the setter is trying to give you the ball, and you're squared up to them, and let's just say like the middle's right here and the middle's like right on top of them, you're squared up to the ball, and then the setter will have to try and give it to you, and it would go like over your head, and it's like nearly impossible to hit that.
I see.
So yeah, thank you.